Hey, that worked. That worked. Okay, I can see the live chat on my phone, and I can see y'all here, and I'm on YouTube on my phone, and I'm on StreamYard in my laptop. I'm early, guys. Uh, so okay. All right, folks. In case you don't know it, we got a global problem that nobody's talking about. Uh, the pole shifts, but that's not the big problem. I live here on the New Madron Fault. Apparently, the Gulf of Mexico is shrinking because the New Madron Fault ends in the Gulf, and it's sinking because it's opening up, and it's causing a lot of earthquakes. Anyway, that link over there, you can go to that link that I posted there and read all about it. It's not good news. Uh, okay, so the earthquake monitors, the hole out in the Atlantic. Read all about it, do your research. That big old hole there is expanding. The continents are pulling and separating. There's a lot to read on here. But if you get a chance to go to this link, go to that link. Uh, I'll see if I can post it in the chat. Okay. Uh, okay, guys, I'm going to post my StreamYard. I'm going to copy and uh, no, that's not what I wanted. Okay, that's one. That's on the New Madron thing. I want my StreamYard one on here. Anyway, that's that link to that post about the New Madron. Here's my StreamYard. Okay. Howdy, Chris. Hello, Chris. Hello, Chris. How are you? Oh, hey, at 6 o'clock, I still have a few more minutes. So, um, I want to post, uh, the link to the StreamYard. If anybody wants to come up and talk, please do. Chris, if you could figure out how to pin that to the top of the YouTube thing, I'd appreciate it. And if anybody would like to join my panel, please feel free to do so. You can ask any questions. We got approximately 10 minutes before I have to start my actual show. So we got 10 minutes to figure out if I'm doing this right. It looks like it so far that I've got everything up and running. My, hey, Miss Angie, Stormy Wind. Hello, hello, hello. Appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. Okay. Anybody wants to come in and chat with me, either before the show starts or after the show starts, please feel free to do so. I've got a couple of things here I've got to do. I need to pull up a pic. Okay. I have that all ready to go. I think. I'm looking for something, folks. Y'all bear with me here. Hell, I don't know how to do it. I can't get you guys to see that picture. How do I present a picture? Chris, how do I present a picture? Oh, okay. Hmm. All right, I'm gonna figure this out here. All right, I did that. Now I want to share a picture. Gigi Trish, actually, she's sitting out on the porch watching the neighbors. Okay. Still can't figure out how to share a picture. Should be able to share a picture in StreamYard. Uh, yes, and there was no way I could have done it, but God, thank God, it wasn't ear mites. I don't have to completely disinfect my whole house and yard. She had a case of ear infection, a case of yeast infection, which can simply be caused by all this rain and moisture we've had. Okay, maybe I need to get a dehumidifier for my house. Huh? Well, hello, Wendy.
Howdy.
Howdy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, but it's hard to hear you.
You're not hearing me very well?
Well,
Let's see what I can do about that.
let me see if I can hear you better with my speaker in the plant room.
Okay, everything seems to be plugged in here. I wanted to share the picture that I put up for the beginning of this, the picture of the rat terrier, but for some reason I can't get it to go up there. So I'll have to do without it. Get your feet, excuse me, get in here. He took off after the neighbor, and the neighbor chewed her butt out, and she come running back in the yard. She's feeling better, guys. Feeling good enough to run down off the steps and run out in the yard and bark, so she's feeling better.
How did the vet visit go?
Well, they had to muzzle her and cocoon her to clean her ear. Okay. I knew that was going to happen because it was really full of yeast. Apparently, I thought it was ear mites, but it wasn't ear mites. It was literally she had a yeast infection brought on by all this moisture we've had all this rain and stuff, and it creates yeast infection, but they put medicine in both her ears, and she's on pills for the next 2 weeks. They did go ahead because I was due. I knew it, but I couldn't afford it. Really, and I thank whoever put up all those people. I know who did, but all those people who put up that money so that she could get vet care managed to cover everything but $6.58, and I had enough. I had that in my account. Whoa, where'd you go? Okay. All right. Got 1 minute. Let me get
The nation, there's a spark that ignites. Mona Miller, a patriot in the brightest of lights. A veteran of battles, both seen and unseen. With a smile like sunshine, she's people's queen. Mona Miller, with the wisdom to share, a buck tussler of joy beyond compare. She'll challenge propaganda with a grin so wide, a beacon of hope in this turbulent time. From the times of her service to the streets that she roams, Mona spreads laughter like seeds she has sown. With a twinkle in her eye and a joke on her lips, she's a warrior for happiness in a world that often slips. Mona Miller, a light in the dark. With her kindness and humor, she leaves her mark. In the battle for joy, she'll never back down. A true buck tussler in her smile we drown. The trials and hardships, she stood tall with a heart full of love. She answers the call, for Mona knows the power of a smile sincere. She'll share it with all spreading cheer. Mona Miller, a force to behold. In the fight for happiness, she's bold. With her laughter and grace, she leads the way. A true buck tussler, come what may. So here's to Mona Miller in her quest to bring cheer. A symbol of joy, a world that's soft and drear. May her laughter sound in the hearts of all she meets. Mona Miller, a buck tussler sweet.
How you like my theme song? What do you think of my theme song? Stormy, can you hear me?
Awesome.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to start my show. So thank you for dropping in. And I want you to come back when I'm finished and we'll talk about it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Tonight's story is the story about the fishing dog. You see, I had a little rat terrier by the name of Nikki. Now, Nikki was so tiny when we got her. She was but 4 weeks old and only weighed about 5 ounces. And I raised that dog for the last 2 weeks of nursing on a bottle so I could teach her to be housebroke, to let her give her a bath. She didn't mind her nails being filed. And she was a very, very smart dog. So smart, in fact, that she knew what the word fishing was. You see, by the time she was a year old, she'd done been on the riverbank most her life, watching us pulling fish out of the lake and out of the river. She'd sit on the front of the boat and ride down or up the river as we drove, just to wait. We'd anchor out, toss several poles out into the river, and sit back and not worry about it. Because if we got a nibble, she's going to let us know. She'd run over to the pole that's got the fish for nibbling on it, and she'd look at it and raise her tail up and waggle it and let us know. But you had to watch it. You see, she had this thing about she wanted to catch the fish. So when you would reel it in, if you weren't real careful, she'd snatch it. Well. You know, that dog was really good at snatching things. She got her name right. She was a rat terrier, breeded for hunting rodents. Yet one day when we was cleaning out my mama's material shed, we knew there was mice in there because we'd pull a box out and she'd just stomp her feet. She'd just stomp her feet and wind up to that box. And you carefully open the lid, because when you open the lid, when them mice come out, she'd go snatch them. And she did. She'd snatch them and drop them, snatch them and drop them. She caught about 9 mice coming out of one box in about 30 seconds. She was a good bouser, but she was a real good fisherman. Tell you what, we went up to Troutdale up at the Lake of the Ozarks. It's a peg trout fishing lake. And we went in there. We didn't have no poles. No, sir. It was my husband and I and the kids. And we went in with the dog. And he says, okay, you all want to rent fishing poles? And we said, no, we don't need no fishing poles. He said, well, you have to use a fishing pole to fish. I said, no, we got a 4-legged fishing pole. He said, what? I said, yeah, we came up to pay to watch the dog fish so we can film it. And at that time we had one of them big camcorders, that was back when. And he said, I don't believe this. I said, yeah, she is. She's going to go out there and catch fish. Just how much does it cost to have my dog fish? He says, well, the fish is so much per pound. I said, okay, I'll make sure she gets a couple of big ones we want to eat tonight. He thought we were crazy. I'm going to tell you what, I took Nikki out there where them trout ponds are. And you could see them trout swimming, And she went to walking around that pond and searching it out. And the next thing she knows, she jumped in. She come out with a big one. Yeah, she did. Right by the head. She come out there with her big old fish. I thought that guy that was there was just going to go fall over busting. And that fish dog, he just caught a fish. And I said, we do have a 2-fish limit, right? For the one price. He said, yeah. I said, okay, Nikki, go get us another one. Get us a really big one now. She went walking around the pond. Weren't long. Them front feet and that head went in and snatched and out she come with a nice trout, little brown trout. First one was a rainbow, second one was a brown trout. And we paid our money, went over to pay our money and everything. And he says, I ain't charging you for that. That was the best thing I ever did saw, was watching that dog catch them fish. Well, we was fishing, my brother and I, catching perch. And we had a john boat sitting by the dock that it had rained and had water in. Never thought about it. But we turned around, we just started catching our perch and tossing them in the boat. Yeah, we wasn't paying attention. Next thing we know, Nicole has taken all the fish out of the boat, snatched their heads, bit them right through the eyeball, picked them up and taken them out of the boat. They were swimming in the boat, and she was standing on the seat of the john boat, and every time one would swim by, she'd snatch it, take it out of the boat. She took out 30, we caught 30 perch that day, and we put them in the water in the boat, and she caught them and took them out. She was my fishing dog. I had that dog for nigh on 16 years. Best friend I ever had. She was my fishing buddy, but you couldn't say fishing. If you said the word fishing in the house, she would run over to the tackle box and the fishing poles and whine because she liked to go fishing. You know, she got old, and I knew it wasn't going to be long, and the good Lord was going to take her over the Rainbow Bridge. But I wanted her to go out, and we was going to go fishing. She loved it. So we went out to Jefferson Lake. Yeah, I went out on the pier. Okay. I went walking out on the pier, and there was this old feller that was sitting over here on a bench. And as I went by, I said hello. And of course, Nicole was never on the list. She was on an invisible list, just like Baby is. Anyhow, I went out to the end of the pier, not paying any attention, and I went to fishing. All I'm a-doing is drowning worms. I ain't getting no nibble, no bite, no nothing. So I decided that was it. I was going to come home. So I reeled in my fishing pole, picked up my tackle box, and I headed back down the pier, and I'm looking all around for Nicole. I don't see her. The man sitting on the bench hollers at me, and he says, "Ma'am, are you looking for that black and white dog?" I said, "Yes, sir, I am." And he says, "I'm going to kill her." I said, "Why you want to kill my dog?" He says, "I've been sitting here fishing all day, ain't got a single dang bite. And that dog's done caught 2 bass. It's the first time in my life I ever been outfished by a dog." So that's the story of the fishing dog. She was a great companion. I had her for a long time. She lived a long life, and just 2 weeks before she passed away, she did get to go fishing and she caught a couple of good bass. I guess they're spawning up by the edge of the lake. The only other great story, I didn't have a camera. We didn't walk around with cameras in our pockets all the time back then. I had a 1-acre pond in my backyard that was stocked. And one day out there, and I'm working on something. I'm tinkering with the boat or something or other, and all of a sudden I hear this splash, and Nicole's got a hold of a great big blue cat by the tail. This blue cat I'd put him in that pond. He was about that long, about that big around. And he got his tail a little too close to the bank, and she has snatched hold of his tail, and he is dragging her. This dog is water skiing across the pond, holding on to this fish, when he finally dove and pulled her under, and she let go and come swimming out. We caught that fish about 2 years later, and sure enough, there it was, the canine scars on its tail where Nikki had caught it. So, they say they're called rat terriers, and I say they're called fish terriers. Yeah. So, now, all right, anybody want to come in and visit and talk about my story? Hello, everybody. I probably didn't do this very well. I tried. But to get you on a little bit of that story, I'll tell you about the other story of baby JR. She did get to the vet today, and thank you God and Patriots, okay? Because I got the whole bill was the entirety of the bill came to $256.58. But they got her HeartGard test and her heartworm, her medicine for both ears, her pills she has to take for 2 weeks. I knew they was going to have to muzzle her. I kept telling people she wasn't going to let me touch her ears. Well, yeah, if you go watch the vet visit video, you will see that she was a handful just trying to get her ears clean. They had to be clean, and it hurt. and she wiggled, and she'd have bit somebody if they had a muzzle on her, and scratched them if they had cradled her in a cocoon. Because she was putting up a fight. She didn't want them ears touched. But them ears was so full of gunk that they said is like fungus. It's caused by yeast infection. And so they went in and really took some gauze and got down in there and cleaned her ears so really good, even with her objections, and managed to get some medicine in them, and got her feeling a lot better. She's not shaking her head like she was. I mean, it was a constant shaking her head and rubbing herself on the ground and licking her paws and wiping her ears. And, you know, you don't know how much them little bitty things mean to you until they sick or missing. I was watching some tornado pet recovery shows today with people being reunited with their pets. There was one little lady, her whole house collapsed, and she got out, and 3 days later, she's hearing the whining and looking, and she found her dog underneath her house, and the dog was fine, just very thirsty and dehydrated and hungry and missing his mama. I'll tell you, there's been some stories about dogs that got ripped out of people's hands and thrown through the air, and they've been recovered with just a couple of bruises and scratches or nothing at all. God is good. He knows what them little fur babies mean to us. One lady, she had 2 of her cats, but one of her cats was missing, and missing for over 2 weeks. And she showed up at her location still looking for her cat, and the cat come out. She said, I wish this cat could talk and tell me where he's been for the last 9 days or whatever it was. And he's fine. And, cats got 9 lives, they say. But I don't know, folks. I look at all that devastation. I've been working tornadoes and hurricanes and disasters for a lot of years, and you never get used to it. But the miracle happens every time. Chip, remember us about 8 weeks away. 8 weeks away from what? Denise Chasey, mine is my life, my best friend, my constant companion, loving me through life. Yes, ma'am. That is what it is, okay? The unconditional love. I see, you know what, Mitzi, that's okay, because I think you can go back and watch it over. I did my story. You missed the story about the fishing dog. It was only like a 15-minute story. I'm going to have to learn to tell either more stories or longer ones on these Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now, I've decided that Thursday, the subject is going to be creative discipline. Okay? I raised my young'uns with some of the most creative disciplinary actions, and it worked. Yeah, it worked without them being abused or mistreated. In many cases, their discipline was good for them. And I'm going to talk about discipline. And then afterwards, we're going to have a panel, and we're going to talk about what you think and how you raised your young'uns. Because I'm going to tell you what, I just seen the thing today posted on my Facebook where the baby boomers, we believed in country. We were patriotic. Gen Zs aren't. Baby boomers, okay, believed in a higher power. Gen Zs don't. And I'm like, why? But what did my baby boomer parents do and that I did that made us the way we are and them. Is that anything like putting in a front of the TV for punishment? And if you dare turn that TV on, you're gonna get it, mister. Sorta, kinda. My kids was having trouble getting their chores done and getting their homework done and their chores done and getting ready to go to bed on time, all because of that boob tube. I unplugged it and I turned it to the wall. That was the end of that. We learned how to play spades, canasta, rummy, and sit around the table and carry on conversations and get into good heated card arguments. You know, that was good. Our kids learned to debate over a card game pretty well. We played Monopoly and Risk, and we learned to communicate with one another when I took the TV, unplugged it, and turned it to the wall. I was prepared that my young ones would learn how to do their chores. Everybody has a chore, okay? My job was to go grocery shopping, take everybody where they needed to be, keep appointments, doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, and I was there to make sure that the house ran smoothly. That was my job. But if you're old enough to take toys out of the toy box, you're old enough to put them back. If you're old enough to dress yourself and undress yourself, you're big enough to put your clothes in the clothes hamper. If you're big enough to bathe yourself and dry yourself, you're old enough to take care of your wash rags and towels in the proper manner. If you're old enough to stand at the kitchen sink and run water, you're old enough to rinse dishes. If you're old enough to understand what clean dishes is, you're old enough to wash them. Soon as you know how to properly operate a washing machine and put clothes in the washing machine properly and adequately, I don't do your laundry no more. Not my job. But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into all that Thursday. I'm going to back off or I'm going to end up in a whole nother story. And I really want to try to keep these at about 30 minutes. Of time. Does anybody want to come up on panel? We got about 10 minutes or so, more so. If anybody wants to come up and talk, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. I hope I did okay, guys. Did everything come out all right? I ain't done this. This is all new to me, and I'm watching it on my phone, and it's behind me. I say it here and then it shows up there. So I'm gonna have to get Chris or somebody to show me how to operate this thing. Okay. Hello, Florida Mama Bear. How are you? Denise, thank you, dear. Thank you. Hey, you know what, Mama One? That's the beauty of it. You can always rewind and make comments below. You can always do that on here. Isn't that kind of cool? That we, because I miss Missy sometimes. Because I miss Missy. Well, hello there. Sometimes. Hi, Chris.
Howdy.
Howdy, brother. Oh my goodness.
Hey, you done good.
I do good.
It was good.
Okay.
You're figuring out how to pin that top to the top. You'll have it licked for sure.
If I can figure out how to get the chat over here on my phone, right?
Well, Miss Angie put a link. I shared. She made a video for you on the fly, and I put the link in the chat so you can go watch it and learn how to do that.
Oh, where's it at?
In the chat, in the YouTube chat.
In the YouTube chat.
Yes. That's all I can do. See, I can't pin it to the
coming
top.
on here.
I can't do that. I can't do anything about that. I don't have the StreamYard up. You do. That's how I know. You can only if you can only pin it to the top because you did the StreamYard. That's how I know.
Okay, laptop's slow.
I didn't make the chat. I didn't make the stream. That's the only way I know.
My laptop.
And they all StreamYard, Restream.io, they all work kind of the same. They about the same thing. One is more free than the other one.
Okay,
And
made
the
a
other one,
video.
well, she made a
Is there
whole
a
video.
link to that video, Angie?
It should be in the chat. Let's see. I will.
I'm looking for
try
it.
and pull it up without echoing all
I'm
over
in
the
Talk
place.
Chat.
'Cause I have to shut YouTube down to talk on StreamYard or it'll echo real bad. Let's see here. If I mute it, let's see here. That's the thing. Let me mute.
Thank you, Miss Angie. I will.
She did.
I will find that. I will. I find that and. Okay. I can't link only mods. You want to be a mod? I don't know how many people. Well, Chris is a mod, aren't you, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah. All I do is click
Yeah.
on you.
I'm trying to make my way over there. My computer's slow.
Okay. I don't know how to make a mod. I have to do that in YouTube too, not in StreamYard.
I clicked on the wrong Mona went live. I clicked on like another video. So hang on, I'm getting there.
Okay. All right, guys, this hat's getting awful hot. It's okay for story time. But it got a little warm under there. All right. Okay. Now, Miss Angie, we'll all talk later. I did my 30 minutes. I got 3 or 4 minutes to go. And I'm going to close with my song that was written by someone who wishes to be anonymous.
I love that song.
4 minutes to go. And I'm going to close with my song that was... Yeah, you're echoing there, brother.
How about now?
You're not now. Okay,
Yeah.
guys. I'm going to see if I can do this right and put my song up. And
Okay, I'm out of here. I love you. Good, great time. See you next Thursday and all that good stuff.
All right. Here we go. I think. Why aren't you working?
In the heart of the nation, there's a spark that ignites. Mona Miller, a patriot and in the brightest of lights. A veteran of battles, both seen and unseen. With a smile like sunshine, she's people's queen. Mona Miller, with wisdom to share. A buck tussler of joy beyond compare. She'll challenge propaganda with a grin so wide, a beacon of hope in this turbulent time. From the times of her service to the streets that she roams, Mona spreads laughter like seeds she has sown. With a twinkle in her eye and a joke on her lips, she's a warrior for happiness in a world that often slips. Mona Miller, a light in the dark. With her kindness and humor, she leaves her mark. In the battle for joy, she'll never back down. A true buck hustler, and her smile we ground. The trials and hardships, she stood tall. With a heart full of love, she answers the call. For Mona knows the power of a smile sincere, and she'll share it with all spreading cheer. Mona Miller, a force to behold. In the fight for happiness, she's bold. With her laughter and grace, she leads the way. A true buck hustler, come what may. So here's to Mona Miller in her quest to bring cheer. A symbol of joy, a world that's soft and drear. May her laughter sound in the hearts of all she meets. Mona Miller, a buck hustler sweet.
Good night, all. See you on trivia. We're going to the bar. Yay! I'll see you all in the chat. Dennis, Denise, Cheney, thank you. Thank you, Chris, Florida Mama Bear, Stormy Wynn, Mama One, Miss Angie, all y'all guys. Bug tussle somebody today. Bug tussling. The art of making a stranger smile. Love you all. And hug.